Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beat the Book. As always, I am your boy, Big Al Better. We're going to do a quick recap, as we always do, and then we're going to jump into Tuesday's NBA games. We got 3 games on the slate. They should all be pretty good games. We saw 2 of them on Saturday, and we saw 1 on Sunday. So, without wasting too much time, if you guys want to skip the recap, probably go to about 5 minutes. It might be a little less. I'm going to go pretty quick. There's only 2 games to go through, but that's where we'll pick up on the other picks. But let's not waste too much time here. We had the Knicks taking on the Pistons. The over/under was 221.5. We were on the Pistons plus the 6.5, and we were on the over. The plus 6.5 cashes for us. It ended up being a close game at the very end of the game, but the Pistons were in control the whole way, which is kind of what we thought it would be. And then so we cashed the plus 6.5, but unfortunately the over doesn't quite hit. It was low scoring. I don't think either team broke 100. So, unfortunately, that's just how it goes. So we split there. As far as the 4-pick parlay, we went 2 of 4 on it. For the 4 picks, we had Harris's 20 plus PRA. He's hit that now in both games. We're going to be using that one again. And Brunson's 40 plus PRA. He's hit that in both games. So we'll be using that in our next one as well. Hart over 12.5 points. He'd done that in the first game. In this one, he only had 9. And then Cat 10 plus rebounds. He'd done that in every game against these guys for the whole season, including the first playoff game. He only gets 6 in this game, so it was just one of those days, one of those things. So anyway, that was one does not cash, but we split the bigger bet, because the 4-pick parlay is a fun bet. It's not the big boy bet. So anyway, moving on to the next game, we had the Clippers taking on the Nuggets. Obviously, the spread was 1 point. We were on the Nuggets +1 because they'd won the first game, and I felt pretty good about them being able to just hold serve at home and then take it on the show on the road. If you guys watched the game, that's not how it went. The final score was 105, 102. We were also on the over 217. They almost got there, but unfortunately, we're 10 points short. Clippers won the game by 3, so the Nuggets doesn't cash, so we go X and X there. So on the big bets of the day, we go 25%. Not our best showing, but the other day we went 75%. So that's gambling. Shots on goal, baby. And then for the 4-pick parlay in this one, we were very, very close. We had Zubats 2.5 assists. We took him the first time. He didn't get it. This time he had 4, so he cashes. We had Jamal Murray for 20 points. I think he ended with 23, but he did. I know he got over 20. I don't know if it's 23. He might have had another bucket in there, but he got over 20. We had Aaron Gordon under 2.5 assists. He's now been under this number both games, so we'll probably revisit that one as well. He had 1 assist. And then Norm Powell, we had for 21 plus points, rebounds, and assists, and he did not get there. I think he was at 15 or something, because I remember looking over to my sister while we were watching the game. I was like, yo, I need this guy to get 2 more 3-pointers, and then we'll cash. So he got to 15 or 16. But so anyway, that one doesn't cash either, but we went 3 of 4 on it. Big bummer there. So, and then as far as the 2-pick parlay, we took a couple reaches because there was only 2 things to throw in it, 1 from each game. And we had Tobias Harris at 30 plus PRA. He got to like 28, so he was just short. And then we had James Harden 40 plus PRA. We should have taken Kawhi Leonard because he's the one that ended up showing up big in this game. I think Harden was in the mid 30s. But he didn't have as big of a game as he had in the first game. So anyway, that's our night. Not a great night, but as always, there's always another day. There's always more bets to make. And, it's not about bad day, bad. It's about do the good days outweigh the bad days, you know what I mean? And so without wasting too much time, let's go ahead and pull up the bet scene here, and we're going to hop into, let's go ahead and get rid of that real quick. We're going to hop into today's games. So we got the first one. We got the Bucks taking on the Pacers. This spread is 4. If you guys remember, the final score in the last game was 98 to 117. I'm not exactly sure why the Bucks are a 4-point, why it's only 4 when they got beat by 20 dang near. They got beat by 19. So we're going to be on the Pacers -4 here. I like the home team. They played great ball. Don't get me wrong. They played great defense, and the Bucks couldn't hit a 3. I mean, I looked through it. All their starters, on the threes. So I think one starter had 1 3, and they took a bunch. So anyway, we're going to be on the Pacers here, -4. Feels like the right spot, especially with how good they looked in that last game. And if Damian Lillard comes back for any of these games, then we'll adjust as the games adjust, but they just won by 20 almost. They're still at home. Give me the home team to only have to win by 4. As far as an over/under goes, 229. The last game, like I said, it was 98 to 117. We're gonna be on the over. I feel like with how low scoring that game, because they went to 215. When you're only gonna get to 215, it feels like the book should know, like the book should have adjusted this line down. The fact that they didn't tells me that they think it's gonna be higher scoring. Also, like I said, the Bucks missed a ton of threes. If they make half those, like all the starters, they probably took 8 threes, maybe 9 threes combined, and they all went over except for that one guy. If they all hit their threes instead, then you got to add 9, 10, 12 points to that score, even if they just go 50% on those 9 threes, right? So I think we get the over here, and I think it's a much closer game. I just think the Pacers are going to be able to do enough at the end to cover the 4 points. So that's what I like there. As far as the 4-pick parlay, we're going to hop into it. So in the first game, we had Tyrese Halliburton under 34.5 PRA. That did cash, so we're going to go back to that well. This is under 33.5 PRA, right? So they moved the line down a little bit because he only got to mid-20s. So love that. Pascal Siakam, 7+ rebounds. We're doing that again. He cashed in the first game, and he's cashed in a bunch of games against these guys. Pascal Siakam, 20+ points. He's had that in every game against these guys. All 4 in the regular season and the first playoff game. He had 26, I think. So, and then our final one's going to be Gary Trent Jr., 15+ points, rebounds, and assists. He did cover this number in the first game. He had 13 or 15 points, and he had 2 assists and 2 rebounds. So feels like a good line, and this one is actually plus money up there on the book. So it felt pretty good to me. So that's what we're going to go with. Gary Trent Jr., he played some good minutes off the bench. So just to recap, that's Halliburton under 33.5 PRA, Siakam 7+ rebounds, Siakam 20+ points, and Gary Trent Jr. 15+ PRA. Moving forward, we're going to go to the next game. We got the Grizz taking on the Thunder. Obviously, if you guys watched this game on Easter Sunday, it was the first game of the day. They won by 50 points. The Thunder just absolutely dog-walked the Grizz. Ja Morant, he had 16 points, I think. Made a couple threes. Bane was atrocious. He had 1 of 9 threes, I think. Jaren Jackson had like 2 points. It was just a bad game across the board for the Grizz, right? So for this one, we're not going to change anything. The Thunder have shown who they are. We're going to trust it. We're going to take the same number. I think we're going to see pretty much the same result. The Thunder's role players and their bench players are so dang good. Like, they can pull their starters and still score tons of points. So we're going to take the minus 14.5 again. I just think this matchup is not one that the Grizz can really do much about. As far as an over-under is concerned, we're going to be on the over. It was 131 to 80 last time they played, right? I expect the Grizz to show up a little bit more than only being able to score 80 points, and I expect the Thunder to basically put out the same output they did last time. The interesting thing, too, Shea didn't even have that big of a game. This is the first time in a long time he's been under 20 points. He had this streak of like 60 games where he'd been over 20 points. In this game, I think he had 16. It was 15 or 16 points, so he didn't even break 20, which means there was room for the Thunder to really score even more, provided the Grizz had showed up and tried to keep the game more competitive and close. So I think the Grizzlies can get to 100 in this game, and then if you have the same type of performance from the Thunder where they're going to cover this big number and they're going to get to 130 themselves, I think you're going to see a higher scoring game. So I like the over here, and then we're going to be on the Thunder minus the 14.5 once again. For the 4-pick parlay for this one, we're going to take Jalen with the L, not the Y. Jalen Williams, 5+ rebounds. He cashed this in the first game, so we're going to trust it again. Jaren Jackson Jr., 2+ assists. He did get this in the first game, so we're going to go back to that. Then we're going to take Shea for over 39.5 points plus assists. We took him for that in the first game, and he didn't cash it, but I just told you guys he only had 16 points. It's rarity, and he missed a bunch of shots. So I expect him to be a little more dialed in for this game. He'll probably get to 30-something points, and then he'll spread the ball around and get those assists in there to kind of get him to this number. So I like that. And then we're going to take Ja Morant over 32.5 PRA. It seemed kind of low. I was floating back and forth between him and Jaren Jackson. Jaren Jackson's PRA line was 25.5 or 27.5. But I figured Ja's going to have the ball more, and he is the main guy. So let's take the main guy versus trying to take the sidekick, and hoping the sidekick has a good game. So that's Jalen Williams, the starter, for 5+ rebounds. Jaren Jackson Jr. for 2+ assists. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for 39.5 points plus assists, and Ja Morant over 32.5 PRA. This thing pays out plus 750 over on DraftKings. Feel pretty good about it. The only thing we're going to have to worry about in that, Ja needs to have a good game, and then Shea needs to, be kind of the one running the show. Like, he needs to be out there splashing shots. And if he can do that, then I think we're going to have a pretty good, this thing should hit, Moving on to the last game of the day, we've got the Lakers taking on the Timberwolves. This one's interesting, and you guys will have to let me know if you disagree or agree with my thesis on this one. But we got the over-under set at 209.5, right? I'm actually going to be on the over here. Oh, see, it already moved. Now it's 210.5. Literally 5 minutes ago, I was writing it down, and it was 209.5. It's moved to 210.5. We're going to be on the over here. The Lakers just didn't play good ball in this one. This one was 95-117, so you had a total of 212, which is actually over the number. So, and that's in a game where the Lakers, they got beat by 22 points, right? I don't think that's going to happen again. We're also on the Lakers, -6. Now, my theory here, this channel is called Beat the Book. So we're always trying to, what kind of game is the book playing, right? So the fact that it's 6 points now when the first game was 4 points as a spread, that tells me they think the Lakers are bouncing back in a big way here. And I think they're going to expect everybody that bet on the Timberwolves at +4 to come back and be like, oh yeah, +6, you're going to give me even more points when my team just dominated. I think they're expecting a reversal. I think the Lakers are going to come in here and win this thing by 10 points. So that's why we're on the Lakers -6. It feels too good to take it. Because, like, if I wasn't thinking the way I'm thinking right now, I'd be like, yeah, Timberwolves, they just won by a ton. Give me +6, right? But I don't think the game's going to go that way. I think the Lakers are going to have a much better shooting night. For reference, the Lakers had kind of atrocious shooting. 36% from three isn't that bad. 40% from the field, though. Whereas the Timberwolves shot 50% from three and 51% from the field. I don't think the T-Wolves are going to shoot 50% from three again. That's a very high number. So I think you get the Lakers shooting up over 40% from three. They're going to make a couple more, and you got the T-Wolves shooting a little less. And then I think LeBron only had what? LeBron in this game, he had 19 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. Luka had a great game. Reeves didn't break 20 points. He shot 8 threes, made 3. Luka shot 5 threes, made 10. LeBron shot 5 threes, only made 1. Normally he makes 2 or 3. So, yeah, so we're going to be on the Lakers here, -6. Maybe I'm a fool. If you guys don't like the play, just fade me. But to me, it feels like the book wants us on the Timberwolves, which is why they set this number at 6. So I'm going to just not do what the book says, because you don't beat the book by doing what the book wants you to do. And then the over-under being at 210.5. I like the over here. Like I said, the first game got to 212, and it wasn't super close near the end. So that's what I like. As far as a 4-pick parlay, we've got Dante DiVincenzo over 17.5 points, rebounds, assists. He had 18 in the first game. His line was 16.5. We took it, it cashed, but so the book moved it up one. So we're gonna still trust that. I got LeBron James 40+ PRA. I expect him to have a big game. It was plus money for this play. I got Austin Reeves for 30+ PRA. He had 16, 3 and 3 in the first game, so he had 22. But like I said, he went 3 of 8 from 3. If he goes 5 of 8 from 3, we get an extra 6 on there. We're knocking on the door, right? So I like Reeves to have a big game as well. And then we got Luka Doncic 3+ 3-pointers. He had 5 of the 10. He was the bright spot on the team, right? 37 points, 1 assist, 8 rebounds. I expect him to kind of keep doing what he's doing. He beat these dudes in a playoff series, last year to get to the finals. So I expect him to kind of keep doing what he's been doing and just kind of balling out of control. So Luka 3+ threes, Austin Reeves 30+ points, rebounds, and assists, LeBron James 40+ points, rebounds, assists. I think we're getting a big game from the King. I think he breaks 30 points. And then Dante DiVincenzo over 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists. This thing pays out plus 1,000 over on DraftKings, which is pretty awesome. Then for the final thing here, guys, we're just going to hop into our, we take one prop bet from each game, throw it together in a parlay, right? So this one doesn't pay out anything too crazy. We're going to take that LeBron. We'll just build it real quick. It's good for the short, so I can build a short out of it. You know what I mean? Okay, so for this game, we're going to go over to player points. We're taking Pascal Siakam for 20 points. He's done it in every game against these guys. It's a slam dunk, to pardon the, nomenclature. All right, then we're going to Grizzlies Thunder. We're going to go to player rebounds, and we are taking Jalen with an L. Jalen Williams here. I actually want to switch this screen. Here we go. Bada bing. We're going to take Jalen Williams, 5+ boards. -170 over there on the old DraftKings, okay? And then for our final pick, player combos, no big deal. And we're rolling down here to the slider. We're taking LeBron James, 40+ points, rebounds, and assists. Big game from the King. This thing pays out plus 450 over on DraftKings. It's very simple, right? Pascal Siakam, 20+ points. He's done it in every game against these guys. Jalen Williams, 5+ rebounds. He did that in the last game against these guys. And then LeBron James, 40+ points. Expect a big game from the King after kind of a lackadaisical one. I mean, he had 25 PRA, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. Whatever, 6 and 5, whatever it was, right? But 40+ feels like the right side here for LeBron. It's plus 105. Feels great about it. So anyway, that is your 4-pick parlay for you guys there. Thank you as always for tuning in. I do appreciate it. If you could, just like and subscribe. Let your friends know to watch the channel. And then like I said, I keep saying it. We're getting closer. Keep your eyes peeled for some hockey videos. I think they're coming out real soon here. And then, yeah, I will catch you guys tomorrow where we recap and break down the next games. But as always, thank you guys for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.